Pastor McGee, for inviting me to participate today with you. I am also very much involved in community outreach, and I am representing the Employee Retention Credit Program. It is a part of the CARES Act. It was actually established with the CARES Act. They established 3 programs: the PPP loan program, the ERC, and there was the SIDL, EDIL, that was a part of the SBA. That was a loan program as well. And to give you a little bit of background information, when this program, the CARES Act, was established, money was set aside for the PPP as well as the ERC. However, the PPP got a lot of advertisement on TV, on radio, print media, and people took advantage of it because you could, at that time, only choose one. You could either apply for the PPP or you could apply for the ERC, which was a grant. But most businesses knew about the PPP, and that's what they chose. However, with the new Biden administration, the rules were changed. You no longer had to decide, do I want to apply for the PPP or do I want to apply for the ERC, which is a grant. The rules were changed, and now you can have both. So almost any business that received the PPP or applied for it qualifies for the free grant money from the ERC.
Now, let me interrupt you, Brenda, because I want people to not think that I gave them out some bad information. All businesses that have W-2 workers, not 1099s, because I don't want our business people to think, because I've been talking to a lot of people, and they got to have at least 5 W-2 workers. So
absolutely. So what are the requirements for a business to be eligible for the ERC free grant program? Number 1, they must have been in business by February 15th of 2020. Number 2, they must have had during that time at least 5 W-2 employees, all the way up to 500 W-2 employees. If they met those qualifications, they qualify for the free ERC grant from the federal government. And how do you find out if you qualify? Well, what we do is schedule a 10-minute to 15-minute appointment with the CPA firm that we're working with, whose job is to get the word out to people, veterans all over the USA, because that was the problem with the ERC free grant loan program. Nobody knew about it. There was not any national or local advertisement. So Bottom Line Concepts is the company, the CPA firm out of Miami, Florida, that has been contracted with the IRS to get the word out, as well as to work with individual veterans who own businesses that qualify, as well as businesses throughout our communities.
Now, I was excited about the program when I first heard about it, but I went out and vetted the program myself and found out that it is genuine. But rather than, you can do this one or two ways. You can do it as a personal individual income, as a business income, or as a fundraiser, which we established ours as a fundraiser for our veteran group. And I'm going to tell you, the response of businesses is outstanding. The problem that we've been running into was the 1099s and not the ERC. So now we're looking, and we want to say this to our audience, we're looking for businesses that have 5 or more W-2 workers. Now, this is amazing because, see, most of this money is from the IRS. It is like a tax refund in a sense, but it's a grant. It's like it coming through the IRS, and it will any business. I don't care if you got the PPP loan and they paid it back. It won't affect you getting this opportunity. So we especially want people to get the money because we're hoping that there will be an incentive for them to pay their employees more.
Oh, wonderful! That's wonderful. And speaking of businesses getting their money, when the business gets their money, there's no stipulation on how they should spend that money. Mm-hmm. And so certainly if they want to pay their employees more, that's up to them. That's up to their discretion. Mm-hmm. They don't have to pay the money back. We definitely want to emphasize that it's a grant, mm-hmm. not a loan.
Not a loan.
It's free money, and it's actually based on qualified wages and health care paid to employees. Mm-hmm. So this is money that businesses have already paid the IRS, but they're just giving it back to them in the form of a refund, which is part of the stimulus. Mm-hmm. So we certainly want all businesses to take advantage, find out if you qualify so that you can get the money that you deserve that you've already paid. Mm-hmm. And that in turn stimulates the local economy.
So it is a win-win situation. Veterans are trying to make sure that the businesses in our community is getting the information that they need. Bottom Line has a reputation and a track record for doing this. I know everybody's seeing it on the media, because it's all over the media. A lot of different organizations is doing this. But Bottom Line has the most experience of anybody in the industry right now. So we're tied up with the best. So we want you to actually, you can go to our link if you want to. It's Bottomline referralrock.com/Elsa McGee. That's for veterans in service to the USA. And when you do business with this referral agency, you're helping veterans because we are a veteran organization. So thank you. And Brenda, thank you for bringing this information. Will you wrap your bill?
I will.
Yeah.
You brought up a great point. Why should people do business with Bottom Line Savings? One of the best reasons is that they have a 14-year successful track record in working with the United States Treasury and getting refunds back to businesses. Number two, so far they have processed over 2 billion claims on the ERC program for clients today, 2 billion. And we've served over 12,000 clients. So Bottom Line is not one of these Johnny-come-lately companies that's taken advantage of the ERC program. They have a long-established, successful track record of working with the federal government, and that's why the federal government reached out to Bottom Line to be one of the tax advisors to administer this program on behalf of the IRS and to make sure that our local businesses, veteran-owned businesses as well, receive the money that's set aside for them. I did not mention that there was $450 billion set aside for this grant, and yet there is no limit to it. So there is about $250 billion left, and we have only a little more than 2 years to reach out to businesses throughout our communities, make sure that they know what the qualifications are, and we want to get them the money that they have already paid and the money that they deserve.
And you know what? Since I've been doing this, it brought to mind looking in the community with these businesses. We got a lot of businesses in our community, and I learned the difference between a 1099 employee and a W-2 worker. Now, we need more W-2 workers in the community.
Yes.
That is an economic point, Brenda, that's at some point we got to realize that we need these W-2 workers, employers in our community, because this is the way you get your benefits.
Benefits.
This is all, and we got too many businesses in our community that are not providing these benefits for
their
their
employees.
workers, for their employees. So we need to let people know this is Veterans Talk, and we're veterans talking to veterans and the community about all things veterans and the community. Now, this is something that impact businesses in our community. So we want you to make sure you tell every business in the community to say, listen, you need to call Veterans Talk. Get the information. It's not going to cost you anything to see whether the business qualifies.
Say that again.
It's not any out-of-pocket money for you. So it's just a way that you can get some money and help veterans in the process. I don't think that could be a better way.
And a lot of people are wondering, well, what kind of industries are ripe to receive this ERC grant? Many, many different types of industries: car washes, contractors and construction companies, dry cleaners, food and beverage wholesalers, electricians, franchises. Also, in a lot of cities, you have private schools, universities. Those are businesses, medical and dental practices, hospitals, any car dealerships. We all drive cars, car dealerships. So we have a lot of different kinds of industries that have businesses that do qualify to receive the ERC grant. Okay. So that's what we want people to know, that it's available for businesses in all kinds of industries.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something else I thought about. I'm being a paralegal. I'm always looking at the law, and everything is governed by a law.
Yes.
I'm thinking that, when you look at the employment laws in the state, they are given, and you look at the industries that bottom line can help. And I went to a lot of the same type businesses in our community, and they don't have W-2 workers.
Wow.
And so that's something that you need to be talking to your elected officials about, because this is why you don't have the health care and other kind of benefits that you need in the community. So this has been an educational, and that's what we do. We talk knowledge, we share information. This has been an educational venture for me, because I'm always out in the community trying to find ways to improve the economic well-being of the community. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying now, if all those businesses that I have contacted was eligible for the ERC, we'd have had a lot of money right now. We'd have had a lot of money right now. But the reality of it is that I learned that why we don't have the healthcare industry working in our community the way we do, because of the employment options that most of these businesses have. You can hire people, and don't give them benefits.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Something seems kind of wrong with that. Now that I'm looking at that, so we need to look at what this is doing. I'm not trying to criticize the issue of what's going on, because we're able to benefit from this, but we should also benefit from what we learn in the process. So this gives us something to say, we talk about, do veterans' votes matter?
Yes.
We got to look at the politicians that we are electing, and we need to get with those that we have already elected and talk about some of the things that we learn in our service in the community every day. Because we actually need. I was imagining. I said, now I wish that these businesses that I was dealing with was all W-2 workers, because all of them have helped our organization. They made donations to our organization.
Wonderful.
So we want to be able to give them something back, but they need to learn that they need to put a little bit more into their employees.
Absolutely. Great.
I had to say that.
And I just wanted to give an example of some of the ERC refunds. The young lady that called me from Tampa, her name is Ida Finley, and she shared her testimony with me and others. And she said, Brenda, I went into a restaurant. I'd never been there before. I introduced myself to the owner and asked him had he received his free ERC grant. He said, no, what's that? She told him about it. He said, well, I want to apply for that. How do I do it? And she actually took her cell phone and put in his name, his phone number, the name of the business, the email address. And she said, how many W-2 employees do you have? He said, I have 3 shifts running here at the restaurant, and I have over 100 employees. So she put that information in to her cell phone and clicked submit. And within 5 minutes, Bottom Line Concepts, which is the tax firm that's taking care of all the paperwork for the client, gave the restaurant owner a call and asked him, how many employees do you have? W-2 employees. He said, I have over 100 employees. Bottom Line Concepts calculated that because he had over 100 employees, he was going to get over $1 million. And so that's a win-win situation for that particular restaurant owner, because number one, he did not know this program existed. Number two, he did not know that he even qualified for it, and he is still jumping for joy because $1 million in his hands that he is free to use any way he wants to, whether he wants to use it on the employees or put some aside for the kids' college education. It's up to the discretion of the business owner as to how they want to spend their funds or how they want to use their funds. So it's a very great program, and we're finding that business owners are just happy that we are taking the time to do the outreach in the community to inform them of a program that can be life-changing. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Go ahead, Tony.
That's really, really interesting, particularly for here in Atlanta, at the numbers of new businesses that have come about as a result of the pandemic. And once the restrictions were listed, businesses are popping up all over the place. And I wonder if they are aware of the benefits of this program.
Well, this program only applies to businesses that were in business during
the pandemic.
During the
2020
pandemic.
and 2021.
Okay.
As long as they were open by February 15th of 2020, they qualify for the ERC grant.
Yeah.
That does not have to be paid back.
Right. But I'm quite sure there are probably some businesses that do exist within those requirements that are probably not benefiting from this. So how are we going to get that word to those businesses about their ability to qualify?
Well, one good thing is that this organization has taken a proactive approach in wanting to get out and do community outreach, to reach out to businesses, to let them know this is a service of veterans in service to the USA. And so this just goes hand in hand, where you're offering the community something, you're not asking them for anything.
Right.
And this is a way that you're showing the community that we appreciate you. We're bringing resources to you. Pastor McGee is always big on resources for veterans, and veterans have an extended family, which is the greater Atlanta community, the Georgia community. So I just see this as a very, very helpful and very useful and very needed service. Because if we don't tell the businesses, they won't know. There's no national advertising campaign, no local advertising campaign. Veterans in Service to the USA is a local advertising campaign. And so we're doing it on a very grassroots level, a very organic level, and we certainly are encouraging people to give us a call. Let us schedule you with that 15-minute appointment to see how much money you qualify for.
And let me say this now. This is a big job. The harvest is great, but the workers are few. This is an opportunity for some of you guys to make some money. You know, you can become a referral partner. I'm telling you, just hit our link up, and we'll get you sign up to be a referral partner where you can actually, while helping the community, while helping the businesses in your community, you could be making a commission. So it's not just about the businesses in the community, it's about the people in the community. And it's like a two-way opportunity here. So if you are interested in becoming a referral partner, hit us up. You can just call me 770-895-3260. 770-895-3260. Don't call me after 10 o'clock.
And I have a few more examples of the kinds of refunds that Bottom Line has been able to get in different industries. We have a retail client that got over $1 million. They didn't even know the program existed. We have a manufacturing client that got $2.8 million. And then here's another restaurant that got $1.9 million. And so can you imagine what an impact that kind of refund will have on the life of the employer as well as his employees? And as you say, Pastor McGee, there's an opportunity here for people who would like to become referral partners. There's no charge to become a referral partner. It's free. The company also does not charge the client any upfront money to provide the service for the client. The company Bottom Line Savings does all the work. Most of these business owners are busy. They are not tax accountants. They're not CPAs, but that is Bottom Line specialty, and they do all the work for the client. So in that example I gave about Ida Finley, who called on the restaurant that got over $1 million because Ida referred the company to Bottom Line, she received over $30,000. And she said, Brenda, I was only in that business about 30 minutes.
Really?
So when we're looking at economic opportunity for entrepreneurs, this is truly an economic engine and an economic opportunity that entrepreneurs can use to gather a nest egg and to be able to grow businesses, expand businesses, do things that you want to do for your family. So, Pastor McGee, as you said, there is a great economic opportunity for the entrepreneur.
Okay. Now, let me shift gears a little bit, because we got some stuff that I really got a problem with. Now, this PAC Act that everybody been seeing on the news, everybody been seeing what it done. I'm thinking, Tony, how many members we had in the meeting today?
Probably about 12 members.
The room should have been running over. This PAC Act has extended veterans benefits historically further than ever in the history of the VA. Hypertension is a disability at the VA now. I don't know nobody in my neighborhood that don't have high blood pressure issues. That meeting should have been we should have been trying to find seats all out in the street. And we had 12 members. Something is wrong with this picture. The benefits were meant for you, your family, and the community. You go do a service, you go fight a war, and you'll come back home to a dangerous community where you'll just sit in the house. Something is wrong with that picture, veterans. This is 2023. The VA has changed exponentially more than it has in any other period. The claim system is 60 days now. It used to take years. We're in this every day trying to tell people you ain't got but 3 elements to a claim. Just 3. Once you satisfy those 3 elements, the VA have to pay you your benefits. Something is wrong with veterans in Fulton County. they are not standing up for their benefits, for their family, and for their community on the level that they served in the U.S. military. I don't get it. You can't make me understand that, Tony. I don't care what you say. Listen, those who have been given much, much is required.
Yes.
Veterans, dependents. Listen, if we show up in numbers, the way we need to show up in numbers about the situation at the Atlanta VA, it'll change overnight. We cannot be so busy as not to look out for ourselves. We got homeless veterans downtown, in my hometown, downtown Atlanta, that I believe right now, if they were getting their benefits, they wouldn't be homeless.
Yep.
They wouldn't be homeless. The benefits are always there for you. I'm buying a house at 75 years old with the VA home loan grant. At 75, I decided I'm gonna see whether it works. It works.
It works.
I don't understand it. You know, homeboys, you know, we finna we're gonna build a memorial. I'm gonna get off that. I'm gonna let you talk about the memorial. See, I'm getting an attitude with all them bulldogs, Washington folks. I'm a bulldog, so y'all, I know y'all got hypertension. I know you know somebody that was in the military that served the folk boy in Georgia, got hypertension. And you're gonna let them have a stroke before they get paid. You're gonna let them have a heart attack before they get their benefits, because you won't share the information, because you won't command the people that you vote for to represent you. There's something wrong with this picture, man. You got an honorable discharge. That means you went through the U.S. military. If you did that, no, something is wrong. Y'all need to start showing up for your children, for your family, for your community, if you ain't gonna show up for yourself. If you're gonna be a sacrifice, then I understand it. But what about your family? You gonna let them go too? You know, we got to get a different attitude toward those benefits, especially when we see how they manipulate the economy. You know, I'm buying a house. It was just a 4-bedroom, but that house costing almost $300,000. The first house I bought was in Adamsville, the 294 Whitworth Drive, a brand new brick house, 3-bedroom. I paid $13,800 for it. Tony, I'm gonna get it on, because I'm finna get upset with these folks, man. Go on, Tony. Talk. I'm finna get upset, bro. I don't want to get upset, so you better talk. Talk.
It is understandable the challenges that you see with our veterans in claiming their benefits. For some reason, and you hear it all the time, unfortunately, I don't want to deal with the VA. You know, and that's an unfortunate attitude that results in them not getting some of the benefits that they qualify for. You know, and it's all based on an attitude. You know, but you know, the more we do this, we bring it to their attention every week. That's why this show is on the air every week. Veterans talking about veterans talking about things that are important to veterans. And the more we do this, the more aware. And so the word is getting out. You know, we're challenged sometimes about accepting new information. It's different. You know, who else has done this? You know, did it work? You know, but the idea is this program exists for veterans, and that's why veterans need to take advantage of it. Yeah.
I tell you what I did. At the 100%, I've been 100%. Since 2001. I increased my benefits last year. I got an increase in my benefits at the 100% level. Somebody's telling these folks out there you can't get no more than 100%.
Yeah.
That's because they don't want you to try.
Wow.
The misinformation that we get at the VA and in the community about our benefits should be wiped out. Because what it's doing is stopping, the VA is the third largest part of our federal budget. Third largest part, behind the Pentagon. Listen, over $200 billion a year. It ain't hitting the bank accounts in my community, right? It's not coming back to brothers like Kenny. I'm gonna use so Kenny here. I'm gonna use this stuff. They gave him 100% non-service connected pension when they knew he was due a service connected disability compensation. How much is it different? About $3,000 a month.
That is a lot of money on a monthly basis. Yes.
On a monthly basis.
Yes. You know.
On a monthly basis. Yeah. See, we don't see this situation because we ain't engaging the VA. We hear all the bad news about it and the thing, and how corrupt some out there. You know, they got veterans dying with ants on them, and veterans going, they committing suicide. But there are over 400,000 veterans go to that Atlanta VA every year, and 40,000 of them coming out of Fulton County.
Yeah.
We know that. That's our home too.
Yeah, right.
So that's what we talking to. We talking to them. The 40,000. They better get up so that the other veterans in the state can see us doing what we need to do to change these benefits were meant to be a stepping stone, right?
Yeah.
You know, you went in the military. Some of my peers went on to college and got good pay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Good pay. So they came up with this is the way you give some parity to that. We're going to get a package of benefits. We know they manipulated because of racism, but it's more manipulated when you don't try.
Right.
You know, when you don't go look at these. You got the American Legion, DAV, Wounded Warriors, Vietnam Veterans. You got a veteran service organization almost on every corner in our community, and they're not getting veterans benefits on the level. We need to call them out.
Yeah.
We need to call them out. Because they're sitting there in your name.
Yeah.
Veteran, when they talk about veterans, they talking about me.
Yeah.
So I'm listening now because you're saying something that interests me. It's a special status that was created by Congress. It's a national status, but we live locally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We come from different communities locally. Those communities need to be benefiting from our service. And we ain't letting it do it, and then we're gonna cry about the lack. Well, we got some ways to help overcome the lack. Brenda did that today for us.
Yeah.
We setting out things. Some other stuff. My econ. I mean, that's some amazing stuff too. My econ has helped me flip my credit to the point that I was able to get use my home loan.
Wow.
Bam.
Yeah.
See, the biggest problem that we have with benefits, sometimes we don't qualify because of credit issues, and we got a lot of bad credit in the hood because the economic scale.
Exactly. Yes.
So we need to recognize what the problem is and try to address it. We ain't just can't get mad and we talk and cuss to each other and then go on to bed. We can't keep doing that because these benefits are important to our economics in the community. If we got all the homeless veterans down there in a place, I guarantee you that most of them will come out of it with a check because of benefits. We got to do something different in Fulton County that gonna make other folks watch. And the best way to do it is what we're doing with the Sons of Atlanta Vietnam Project. Now, this is something that is amazing. We started this in 2015. And 2023, we're about to put a memorial in Piedmont Park that honors all of the young men from Fulton County, Georgia, 8 cities, including Atlanta, that had sons killed in Vietnam, is about to be recognized. His story this year. And out that goes to a lot to Michael Julian Barnes.
Exactly.
I mean, brother,
Marvin Arrington.
and Marvin Arrington Jr.
Yep.
I don't care what y'all say about these young brothers. They are community servants. And if we use our community service, if we support them, we go to the meetings and see what they're doing, they will do things for the community that will amaze you. So when you come, you want to tell them about the let me get on by. I'm going to talk about the politician. You talk about the project.
Well, the project is, as he mentioned before, the memorial that's being built in Piedmont Park to commemorate the 240-something young men who paid the ultimate price. And we're doing that to recognize them. You know, they have gone unrecognized for years. Those of us who have been around a while can remember during the Vietnam War when we were serving the country and we'd come home on leave. Because of the attitude about the Vietnam War, we were told, don't wear your uniform.
Don't put it on because you make
And that was something that that's why we went to the military, because we were proud to be Americans and wanted to show that we were in service, but because of the attitude. Fortunately, President Obama changed that attitude by recognizing those veterans who served during the Vietnam War, both deceased and those of us who are still alive. And now we can, if we could fit in those uniforms, wear them proudly. But that's not an option. But also, the other thing that we're doing in recognition, of course, is building a memorial in Piedmont Park. Historic Piedmont Park. We're going to recognize those 240 guys who are on the memorial in Washington, D.C., but we want them hear those names printed permanently in our hometown so that we can recognize and honor them and honor their families and other veterans. Not just those, we want to put the names of any veteran that wants to be recognized permanently associated with our Vietnam War memorial in Piedmont Park by purchasing a commemorative brick with your name or any information you want on that commemorative brick to be permanently displayed in Piedmont Park from now on. It's a wonderful opportunity to do this, and it's a wonderful opportunity to make up for the attitudes that were displayed during the war against those veterans that served during that period. You know, we were honorably serving our country. However, the attitude within the country, it was challenging, and that's the easiest way I can say it. It was challenging for the country and for those of us who served. But we served proudly, you know, yes.
Yes. Now, that's why we got this freedom. The freedom to have Brenda here today. To give us this critical economic, financial message. That's what I'm looking at. Because ever since I got it, I've been trying to coin it to make sure that now on the 28th of this month, I'm gonna be giving it to all 17 chapters in the state of Georgia. Because we want to be able to give. Well, we want to be able, because it's a fundraiser for us. We want to be able to raise some money, but at the same time, we want to be able to help businesses that are in our community. You know, they're in our community, they're doing business, they got this opportunity to get a tax refund that they ain't got to pay back. And I mean, this could be life-changing for some businesses because inflation done hit them, and now they struggling again.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, so listen, thank you, Brenda, for today. Would you like to give us something else that we missed? Did we miss anything? Because I don't want. I'm trying to make sure that we get this message today, because this program gonna run out in 2025. It's gonna run out in 2025. So we got an opportunity. That's why I'm saying, if you want to get some money yourself, become a referral partner. You know, you can help your community and make some money at the same time.
Absolutely. And I just see the greatest opportunity is in service, and that's what this particular chapter is committed to, and you are continuing to do outreach to the community, do outreach on behalf of the veterans. You are working diligently, and I've been seeing it in action for years. But here we have an economic stimulus that can help businesses, it can help entrepreneurs, people who are looking for some money so that their life can be better and they can provide more for their families. This could be that opportunity.
It is.
So we have something that all of us can benefit from in the community. The businesses, the churches, the nonprofit organizations, the hospitals, there are the schools. We have private schools throughout our community as well. They can benefit from this. And so I just see it as an excellent opportunity, and I thank you, Pastor McGee, for just having the vision that you had when I brought this to you. You saw it being better and greater than just benefiting Elson McGee.
Yes.
The first thing out of your mouth was, we're taking this to the chapter, we're going to use this as a fundraiser, and we're going to share it with chapters throughout Georgia.
Well, throughout the United States.
Throughout the United States, Georgia and the United States.
Yes.
So charity begins at home and spreads where? Abroad, all over the United States.
Yes.
So I just think, I know that was very honorable of you to have a greater vision than something that can just benefit you financially.
Well, it's when I'm gonna say this because people don't understand when our community benefit. Veterans feel like they are some kind of protector of the community.
What a
some
blessing.
kind of some.
Yeah.
We feel like. I'm gonna tell you, Kenny is one of the best examples of what you want to see in a veteran every day. This brother worked and with his own business. He always hiring folks. I mean, he take them off the corner and give them some work. We get the feeling when we doing something in our community that our life is valued. So when you brought it to me, I thought it was God sent. I'm saying, ooh, this is something that put this on the table for the crew. And it is. It's working. I'm learning to navigate through these 1099s. I didn't know about that situation when I first started, but it's okay because there are millions of W-2 owned businesses.
Absolutely. There are over 6 million small to medium-sized businesses that do qualify for this free ERC money, and we want to make sure that we tap into them. So there are many throughout our communities, and we want to tap into them. And a program such as this, and with the telecast that we're doing right now, that's outreach, community service, and we're going to continue to do that. And I certainly thank you for inviting me to share in this great program today. It's an honor to be here, and I'm here to be of service, working hand in hand with the Vietnam Veterans of America. You know that you have a partner in me, and that I'm here to work with the veterans and to work with the veteran-owned businesses and the businesses that veterans do business with.
Yes.
You all do business with a lot of different businesses.
And a lot of different businesses spending our money. Them benefit money bucks that we get too.
Yeah.
And I want to say this, brother, because you brought another program to us that we're going to be working on. That's really I'm seeing. I'm kind of developing, but I told you that first. I'm going to get this down first.
Absolutely.
But, this solar energy movement that's taking place. And it need to be taking place, because we need to be doing something about climate
and energy.
And so energy is the thing that need to be done. So solar, to me, is the cleanest form of energy. So I really want to get into, offering the community the solar options that we've been talking about, that you've been teaching me about. So I want to say that so I can invite you back now.
Thank you. I accept, because
okay.
our communities really are guardians, I believe, of our resources. And our communities are adversely affected by high prices of electricity and energy. And when we have solutions, it's our job to share it with the community. So I'll be more than happy to come back and we can talk about the solar.
Yeah, because see, one of the things, you know, you got these other groups in the community that's out there doing it, but they ain't letting the community make no money off of it. They're not telling the whole story. That some of this stuff can be gotten. You can have your house fixed for a little nothing. In some cases, nothing at all. You know, and we need to make sure our community know this. And so that's why I'm putting myself on the spot, because I want to bring this to the community. Because like I said, I'm buying a house. You know, I want to bring. I already started thinking about how I'm gonna bring the electric bill down.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And we got to be able to bring these resources, all of them, to the community. That's what Veterans Talk is all about. We're talking about building the community, building a beloved community. Matter of fact, when we all got resources and lack is gone, crime is not a problem. We can leave our doors open again in the community. Because when I was growing up, I didn't have no key.
Absolutely,
my door was
wasn't
never
necessary.
Wasn't necessary. Door was never locked. You know, door was never locked. So, Tony.
Yeah, that one of the things that will be an outreach from this, or a channel that will develop, is the community centers. We're along with building this memorial, we want to have community centers in the community, so we can speak to, for example, those young men considering going into the military. You know, this is what you can expect. These are the benefits that you're going to get. This is how you will benefit from your service in the military. And now we've got another option here. You know, we can also educate those of us who are veterans about these particular programs. You know, so it's a win-win situation for everybody involved. And I'm glad that we, as an organization, are involved in this.
Yes. And able to, you know, and I want to shout out to CBC again, because, you know, they just got me full of pride and hope and expectation with them joining me in to address this problem of violence in our community. That was one of the most, I did my book release at CBC, right? I did my book release. I thought that was pretty nice, but that rally to confront violence in our community was one of the most proudest moments I had as being a member of CBC. To see all the ministers coming together and say, we're gonna deal with this.
Absolutely.
We're gonna confront this, because it's our community, it's our people that's in danger. You know, and we can't just sit back and act like we're gonna wait for the police to come.
No,
right.
We're the police.
When we are there in the community seeing this happen.
Like I used to tell people, my mama would shake me down like she was the police. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to make sure what I brought in her house was all legal.
Absolutely.
You know, so these mamas that letting these young children bring guns in the house, they're going to shoot you. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful.
One of the challenges with that is, and just bringing up another topic, is this generation that is doing that were raised by people that weren't raised by parents. It was what I'm trying to say is children raising children.
Yes,
and that's where the church got to step in.
Yes,
that's where the church got to step in.
And the community center.
And the community
community has to be. You know, we got to speak up when we see those situations instead of looking and walking away from.
And see, when I say the church needs to step in, I'm talking about volunteers. We talking about building a volunteer military in the community, a volunteer army. Because see, we got to get the pimps out the way. Homelessness has become an industry. I don't want to walk downtown and see my sisters and brothers up on no bridge. You know, I don't want to think that my country is so selfish that it got buildings vacant and lights on, water running, and people under the bridge. Something is wrong with that. So we got to come together as a community. all factions of the community. And I know some of the best volunteers in the world come out to church.
Yep. And the military.
And you know, and a lot of them are veterans, so you know they. But I'm just saying, I'm telling these preachers, these pastors, that actually, some of the people in the congregation, because you got retired school teachers, you got disabled people, you got a bunch of retired police officers in the church,
in the church,
and
that
veterans,
will volunteer,
and veterans,
So.
Yes, indeed.
So we're ready. All right, we got 5 minutes.
Do people know how to get in touch with you so that they can see if they qualify for these ERC grants?
Yes, absolutely. They can either go on our website and look at Bottom Line at www.bottomlineservicesreferralrock.com/Elsa McGee. That will get you to Bottom Lines instantly. But on the back of the form, I want you to fill out this form and email it to Vietnam Veterans of America, because what we do with the contact information is to monitor your claim, to make sure that it's going through the process clearly. So there's a form on the back of that, on the back of the flyer for you to fill out and give it to us. And you can always call us at 770-895-3260. Brenda, you want to give a number, some contact?
My name again is Brenda Scott, and I'm happy to help anyone who wants to see if you qualify for this ERC grant that does not have to be paid back. My phone number is 770-728-2939, 770-728-2939. My name again is Brenda Scott, and I'm happy to be of service to you. All we'll do is schedule a 15-minute call to find out if you qualify and how much money you qualify for. So I'm happy to be of service.
Okay, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We're going to close it out.
So here's an opportunity to participate in this program is by making the calls, asking for information about these grants, and participating every week. See you next week, same time, same station. Veterans Talk. Veterans helping veterans, veterans talking to veterans. See you next week.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Thank you. Have a good one.